In session 4 of Identity, we focus on a topic that is not very popular in people's conversations. What am I talking about? I'm talking about death. Just think about the number of times you've been out for dinner with people or been round to a friend's house. How many times have people naturally, enthusiastically brought up the topic of our death? The world doesn't do it because our culture doesn't really have any answers for what will happen to us when we die. And so therefore what our culture does is it brings on the jesters, it brings on the entertainers, it keeps us amused, it keeps us distracted from that future event. So why do it on Identity? Well, it's not because we were trying to ruin people's day or spoil their fun, but because Jesus has answers for our death. And so in session 4, we take people to John chapter 11, to that story of Lazarus, and we focus particularly on Jesus' declaration to be the resurrection and the life. And we pick up those two aspects of what he says, that he is the life. That is, when we become followers of Jesus, we don't simply exist, but we live. And when we become followers of Jesus, we become spiritually alive in such a way that will never stop, that we will continue to live through our physical death. And yet Jesus also claims to be the resurrection, and therefore he is saying that the ultimate destiny of a Christian is to have a physically resurrected body and to live in a physically restored universe. What about tips for this session? Well, they all revolve around the big question of the week, which I think is the most personal of all. Why do we suffer? So bear in mind as people talk, as they ask questions, that there are likely to be some deeper personal issues below the surface. Now, in terms of talking about suffering, I found the most profitable direction to steer the conversation is not to look to the past and to look for causes, but to look to the future and to focus on God's solution when one day all suffering will stop for the followers of Jesus. And what a day that will be. And we want to ask our group, will they be prepared for that occasion? So sometimes we ask the question, where am I going to be in 5 years' time, 50 years' time? We want to ask the people who are doing Identity with us, where are you going to be in 500 years' time? Will you be ready for the time when God will stop all the suffering for the followers of Jesus? And we want to make it really clear that we can only be prepared as we commit as personal followers of Jesus Christ.